Hello, and welcome to your science news for January 7th, 2026. Coming up, we're digging into a galaxy that has astronomers baffled, a radical new game plan to take on HIV, and a peek at the tiny tech that's about to revolutionize computing. So, first up, we're diving deep into the past, looking at a discovery from the dawn of time that has scientists literally scratching their heads and rewriting their models of how the universe works. And then we're going to zoom way, way in, down to the microscopic level, to check out a brand new strategy that could be a total game changer in the decades-long fight against HIV. And finally, we'll explore the evolution of a tiny device that completely changed the world. You know, the one that's probably in your pocket right now, and see how it's about to do it all over again. All right, let's get right into it. Our top story takes us on a trip, a 12 billion year trip back in time to when the cosmos was just a toddler. And what astronomers found there, well, it simply shouldn't exist. So, what if the universe, well, just grew up way too fast? I mean, that's the big question here, sparked by a galaxy cluster called SPT 234956. Now, this thing is a baby cluster, seen when the universe was incredibly young. But here's the kicker. It's acting like a much older, more developed cluster, and it's throwing a real wrench in our understanding of how everything is supposed to evolve. And this is where it gets really weird. The whole mystery really boils down to this one thing: heat. Our best models say that gas in a young cluster like this should be pretty cool, right? It's supposed to heat up gradually over billions of years. But this one? It's at least 5 times hotter than it has any right to be. It's even hotter than a lot of the mature clusters we see today. You know, this is one of those moments that really shows you the human side of science. The lead researcher, Dazi Zhu, even said he was skeptical at first. I mean, the signal was so strong, so far off the charts, he thought it just had to be a mistake. But after months of double and triple checking, it turned out to be absolutely real. So, what in the cosmos could be cranking up the thermostat like this? Well, the leading theory is just as wild as the discovery itself. Scientists think that 3 supermassive black holes right at the heart of the cluster are acting like these gigantic cosmic engines, just blasting unbelievable amounts of energy into the gas around them and superheating the whole system way, way earlier than we ever thought was possible. Okay, so from the biggest things in the universe, let's pivot to some of the smallest. Our next story is happening at the cellular level, where scientists are blazing a completely new trail in the fight against a global health challenge: HIV. And just to set the stage here, to really get why this is such a big deal, you have to remember the sheer scale of the HIV pandemic. We're talking about over 40 million people around the world living with the virus. So the need for new ways to prevent it, especially a vaccine, is more urgent than ever. Okay, so that's where this new trial, the IAVIG-004, comes in. You see, the problem with HIV is that it's a master of disguise. It mutates like crazy. So this new approach, it's not just about showing the immune system a picture of the bad guy. No, it's more like sending your immune cells to a special forces boot camp. First, they target the exact right kind of immune cells, then they coach them with a very specific sequence of shots, all to train the body to produce these powerhouse antibodies that can take on all sorts of different HIV strains. And make no mistake, this is a huge deal. It's a phase 1 study, so it's the very first time this sequence is being tested in people. It involves 96 healthy adults across 6 locations in South Africa, a country that's been hit so hard by HIV. And the tech behind it? It's Moderna's mRNA platform. Yep, the same kind of tech that gave us the COVID vaccines so quickly. And you can really feel the hope surrounding this trial. Just listen to what Mark Feinberg, the president and CEO of IAVI, had to say. He's not just saying it's promising, he's saying they believe they're on the most promising path ever. In the long, hard fight for an HIV vaccine, that is a huge, huge statement. All right, so we've gone from medicine's future to technology's future. We're going to talk about something that is pretty much everywhere: your pocket, your desk, and how the next version of it is set to change, well, everything all over again. You know, to really appreciate where we're headed with computers, you kind of have to look back at where we started. It all began with the transistor, right? That little switch that replaced massive vacuum tubes and basically kicked off the entire modern world. Well, after decades of making them smaller and faster, we're on the verge of the next giant leap into the quantum world.
And this really gets to the heart of the change. It's a fundamental shift in thinking. A regular old transistor, it's like a gatekeeper for a river of electricity, right? It controls the flow. But a quantum dot? Whoa. We're talking about controlling the quantum spin of a single solitary electron. It's like going from managing a whole river to choreographing a single drop of water.
And this isn't just some sci-fi concept on a whiteboard. Nope, this is happening now. A team-up between Argonne National Laboratory and Intel has actually built and run a 12-qubit device using this exact technology. It's a massive milestone, basically using everything we already know about making silicon chips to build the computers of tomorrow.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's do a quick fire round of some other big headlines in the world of science today.
All right, first up in space, some good news for NASA. Their budget for fiscal year 2026 is locked in at $24.4 billion, which means they've dodged some major proposed cuts. Phew. Next, over in the environment, a new study is showing just how vital healthy coral reefs are for food security. Turns out, restoring them could actually increase sustainable fish meals by as much as 50%. And finally, in health, there's more progress in the fight against long COVID. A new trial for a drug called sonelokromanol is getting underway in the Netherlands. So, some real hope on the horizon there.
So, let's just take a step back for a second. What's the big takeaway from all this? Well, from the edge of the universe to the future of our computers and our health, it feels like we're seeing the rulebook get torn up and rewritten in real time.
I mean, think about it. A galaxy that's impossibly hot, a vaccine that literally coaches your immune system, a computer that works by controlling a single electron. These aren't just little tweaks. These are game changers. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? With science moving this fast, what fundamental truth that we take for granted today is going to be completely upended tomorrow? Thanks for joining us.